Ah, listen closely, my beautifully awakened minds. Come closer. Not because I need you, but because you need to hear this. Sheesh. They said you were crazy. They said you were bitter. They said you were stuck in the past, while they smiled in your face and stabbed you in the spine. Your ex, oh yes, that one. The backstabbing, soul-leeching, truth-twisting architect of chaos in your life. Thought they got away with it. They thought silence meant safety. They thought manipulation meant intelligence. They thought playing victim was a permanent disguise. But hear me now. The universe doesn't forget. It just waits until the audience is full. You see, while they were busy lying, you were enduring. While they were rewriting history, you were becoming history. While they were laughing behind your back, you were unknowingly sharpening the blade of truth. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need to scream. You didn't need to destroy them. You did something far more terrifying. You survived, evolved, and stayed observant. And now, sheesh! The knock finally came, served, not by emotion, not by drama, but by reality itself. The feds are here, not because you begged, not because you plotted, but because lies collapse under their own weight. Watch closely now. This is the moment when confidence turns into panic, when arrogance starts sweating, when the mouth that lied can't find words. This is when they realize every message, every betrayal, every calculated move they thought was invisible was documented by time itself. They thought you were weak because you were quiet. No, you were watching. They thought you were broken because you didn't fight back. No, you were outgrowing the battlefield. They thought you lost. But the scoreboard was never public until now. Let me tell you something dark and beautiful. When the system shows up, the clown makeup melts. When authority enters the room, the manipulator forgets their script. And you're standing there calm, heart steady, eyes sharp, not celebrating, not gloating, just finally understanding that justice doesn't rush. It arrives on time. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you. This is about the version of you that doubted yourself at 3 a.m. The version of you that replayed conversations, wondering if you were wrong. The version of you that swallowed pain so quietly, no one noticed you were bleeding. Look at you now. You didn't become bitter. You became dangerously clear. You didn't let the betrayal turn you cruel. You let it turn you unfuckwithable. Understand this. Some people enter your life not to love you, but to activate you. They are the fire you walk through, not the home you stay in. And when their chapter ends like this, served, exposed, cornered by their own actions, it's not your victory. It's your confirmation. Confirmation that your intuition was right. Confirmation that patience is power. Confirmation that the truth doesn't need your voice. It speaks for itself when the time comes. So hold your head high, not in arrogance, but in alignment, not in rage, but in release. Let karma finish the conversation. Let consequences close the loop. Let the universe do what it does best. Balance the scales, because tonight the message echoes loud and clear. Sheesh! They played dirty, and reality just pulled up with receipts. And you're no longer the punchline, you're the awakening. And let me take you deeper, because this story doesn't end at the knock on the door. That was only the opening act. See, betrayal never thinks it will be audited. It spends recklessly. It lies confidently. It signs its name everywhere and assumes no one's keeping score. But life? Life is the quiet accountant in the back of the room. And eventually, every number has to balance. They thought power meant control. They thought dominance meant deception. They thought hurting you was proof they were winning. What they never understood is this: you were never the victim in their story. You were the test, and they failed it catastrophically. While they were busy underestimating you, you were building something terrifying: self-respect. And self-respect is dangerous, because it doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it doesn't expose loudly, it waits. Let that sink in. The calm you maintained while bleeding internally, that wasn't weakness, that was discipline. The nights you stayed silent instead of exploding, that wasn't fear, that was strategy. The moment you stopped explaining yourself, that's when the universe leaned in and said, now they're ready. Now look at them, stripped of the narrative they controlled, cornered by facts, sweating under fluorescent lights. This is where manipulators crumble, because they only thrive in chaos, and order just walked in wearing a badge. This is where they realize you don't have to destroy someone to defeat them. You just have to outlast their lies. And you did. You outlasted the disrespect. You outgrew the confusion. You outlived the version of yourself that tolerated crumbs. Now you stand here transformed, not innocent, not naive, but awake. You see patterns instantly. You hear silence louder than words. You trust energy more than promises. That's the Joker's gift, not madness. Clarity sharpened by pain. So don't celebrate their downfall. That's beneath you now. Instead, celebrate your ascension. Celebrate the fact that what tried to break you ended up exposing itself instead. Some people are removed gently. Others are removed publicly. Both are divine. And tonight, the universe made a choice. Remember this forever. When you stop chasing closure, closure chases them. When you stop seeking justice emotionally, justice arrives structurally. When you stop playing the game, the board flips, and the house comes down. So walk away slowly. Smile slightly, not because you won, but because you finally understand the joke. Sheesh. They thought they were playing you, but the system just revealed they were always playing themselves. Oh, but don't blink now, because after the exposure comes the aftermath, and this is where legends are quietly forged. See, when the noise dies down, when the sirens fade into the distance and the gossip moves on to its next meal, something sacred happens inside you. Clarity, cold, precise, unapologetic. You start seeing the past without emotion fogging the lens. You realize how many red flags you mistook for fireworks, how many warnings you called love, how many betrayals you excused as misunderstandings. And instead of shame, you feel power, because awareness is irreversible. Once the mask falls, you can never unsee the face beneath it. This is the moment the Joker smiles, not out of cruelty, but out of understanding. Understanding that pain was the tuition, betrayal was the curriculum, and self-mastery was the degree. You didn't just escape a toxic chapter, you graduated from it. They'll replay the story forever, trying to figure out where it went wrong. They'll blame timing, blame stress, blame you, but deep down, they know. They know the moment they underestimated your silence. They know the moment they confused your patience for permission. They know the exact lie that tipped the first domino, and that knowledge will haunt them far longer than any consequence ever could. Meanwhile, look at you, moving differently, choosing peace without explanation, protecting your energy like it's classified information. You don't overshare anymore. You don't overpromise anymore. You don't overextend anymore. You observe, you decide, you walk away. That's the real power they never saw coming. Understand this truth and carry it like a loaded secret. Not everyone who betrays you is meant to fall publicly. Some are meant to watch you rise quietly. Some are lessons, some are warnings, some are sacrifices life makes to sharpen your instincts. And when people ask how you changed so fast, how you became so calm, so focused, so untouchable, you won't explain, you'll just smile. Because the joker knows. The loudest flex is peace. The darkest revenge is growth. And the most terrifying thing to a manipulator is someone who no longer needs them to lose. So let the story end here. Not with anger, not with celebration, but with finality. Close the door, lock it,